Story 1. Fiancé, 30F, and I, 29F, felt our parents were getting too involved in our wedding, so we gave them their money back. There were tears. So, here's the situation. I'm engaged to my fiancé, and we're planning a very small wedding next fall. We're keeping it intimate, just 11 guests, and we want to wear clothes we already own. When we first met, she was in a suit, and I was in a white dress, so we thought we'd stick with that vibe. Our mutual best friend is helping us design custom rings, and we want the ceremony to be quick, just signing the certificate and moving on to a meal at our favorite restaurant. Here's the kicker. Both our parents transferred £10,000 to us for the wedding. We didn't ask for this, but they insisted it was a wedding gift, so we thanked them and decided to put both amounts into our savings account, I say. Then, the drama started. My Emil wanted to know about the outfits, and we told her I'd be in a dress, and my fiancé would be in a suit. That was it. But she spent 2 weeks trying to convince my fiancé to wear a dress because, according to her, it would make her look pretty for the wedding. Every time we explained our choice, she insisted that we both had to buy wedding dresses. No matter what we said, she wouldn't let it go. Meanwhile, my parents have been pushing us about our guest list. We've been clear from the beginning that we wanted it small and intimate, but they've sent us expanded guest lists, including cousins, uncles, and aunts I've never even met. We tried to reinforce that we wanted it small, but they just brushed us off. So we met with both sets of parents for lunch to discuss things. That's when they told us there had been a miscommunication, and the money from her parents was actually a dress budget for both of us, specifically for wedding dresses. And the money from my parents was meant for an expanded guest list, covering venue and catering costs for all those extra guests. We went away to talk privately. After discussing it, we agreed that the money wasn't worth the strings attached. So we pulled up our banking apps, transferred the money back, and went back to the table. We calmly told them what we had done. Their reaction? They said we were acting like children. We told them that we wouldn't be told what to do with our own wedding. My mom and ML immediately burst into tears, and both fathers were visibly angry. They insisted that the money was meant for us, but we reiterated that we wouldn't accept anything with strings attached. We told them that everything for the wedding, our outfits and guest list, was already decided and final. They argued that we were being unfair by not letting them have a say, but we stuck to our guns. We thanked them for the meal, paid £20 each, since our meals came to about £15, and left without saying another word. Now, we've both received messages from our siblings saying we were rude to our parents, who were just trying to do something nice. We're both wondering if we overreacted. Did we go too far? Comment 1. Huzzah! You handled this the way we are always telling other posters to do it. Sounds easy, but it is often hard. You decided what you wanted, stood your ground, and didn't let money buy you. Your parents should be embarrassed. They gave a gift planning to hold it over your heads. What is up with parents and weddings? Your siblings should be told, you weren't there, we were not rude. It is our wedding that we wanted our way. We returned the money when we realized that the parents meant it for something we were not going to do. It's honorable, actually. Why should their feelings matter more than yours? You have now made it clear you can make your own decisions and will not let them take control. You will be glad for this little lesson when you have kids. Congrats! Comment 2. No. Your wedding. Have it the way you want it. Their gifts came with conditions. Therefore, they weren't gifts. And your siblings need to get some perspective because what your parents did was wrong, and then they're guilting you at lunch for not bending to their will. Now they're sending flying monkeys to get you to do what they want. You're right. Do the wedding you want, not what they want. Comment 3. You were not rude. It's your wedding gifts don't come with stipulations, and they didn't communicate that those gifts were to be used for what they saw fit for when they gave you the money. They got married already. This is your wedding. They have no say so on anyone else's wedding but their own. Story 2. I exploded and yelled at my mother-in-law. We were at a family gathering, and I let my 3-year-old daughter help us in the kitchen. Just simple things like cracking eggs and cutting veggies with a Montessori knife. She loves being included and learning. But my mother-in-law immediately chimed in with, Oh no, my precious baby is going to hurt himself. Yes, she misgendered her own granddaughter. I ignored the comment, choosing not to escalate. But she didn't let it go. She got upset, raised her voice at me, and stormed out of the room. My husband was there but said nothing. A few minutes later, she came back and started yelling at me again. Still, my husband stayed silent. So I finally stood up for myself. I snapped and said, "Can you tell me what's wrong with you, talking to me like that? Don't you ever raise your voice at me in front of my daughter again. I'm not your subordinate, I'm your daughter-in-law. And you owe me an apology for this, and for all the nasty, undermining comments you've made since my daughter was born." This wasn't just about that moment. It was the culmination of years of comments and behavior that have chipped away at me. She's constantly criticized the way I raise my daughter, publicly questioned my choices as a mother, and has even yelled at me while I was still recovering postpartum, all because I didn't follow her outdated parenting advice. She talks down to me in front of my child and others, demanding explanations for decisions that aren't hers to make. And when I finally raised my voice after years of holding my tongue, she looked stunned, eyes wide, and said, "I did wrong just now, but you weren't up to the task." At that point, I walked out. My husband later told me that in 16 years together, he's never seen me yell. He admitted he was upset that I raised my voice, but also said he was proud of me for finally standing up to her and exposing how toxic she's been. I told him that if anything is going to change, he needs to go to therapy. He admits that he struggles to set boundaries with her because he was raised to believe you never correct or challenge your parents, no matter how harmful their behavior. But that's not sustainable anymore. To add salt to the wound, I recently found out that she's been telling people I'm a beast for the past 3 years. Passive-aggressive digs, direct criticism, behind-my-back gossip, and yet when I finally defended myself, I became the problem. The truth is, I do feel awful about yelling. It's not who I am. I'm calm, conflict-averse, and genuinely happy as long as no one's bothering me. I hate raising my voice, it gives me anxiety, and it makes me feel like I failed. But I also know I needed to say what I said. I needed to stand up for myself and for my daughter, who's been watching all of this unfold. I don't regret speaking up. I do regret the volume. I'm wondering if I should apologize for how I reacted, not what I said. Comment 1. In my case, I have an unhinged father-in-law. I finally yelled at him back last month after he tried to insult me yet again behind my husband's back. I gave him hell, and I'm happy for it. His flying monkey wife sent me a text about how I was no longer welcome in her home, and I shot one right back about how I was not interested in the first place. Good job, Mama. You stood up for yourself in front of your daughter, and that's very important for her too. Do not apologize. You are not a slave for her to insult at will. Comment 2. Apologize for what? You did nothing wrong. She antagonized you. Your husband didn't defend you, so naturally you defended yourself. As you know, you also have a husband problem. If he was defending you from her, you wouldn't need to take things into your own hands by yelling at her. Comment 3. Nope. Do not apologize, mostly because you actually handled that very well. Exactly. You are not her subordinate. And a little because she didn't actually apologize either. Saying I was wrong but so were you is not an apology. Good. I hope she learns to control her mouth from now on. Comment 4. Do not apologize. She pushed you to your limit. Your husband owes you 16 years worth of apologies, though. Comment 5. You are not a just no, because you defended yourself. You're teaching your daughter to stand up for herself. Keep on with the modeling. Story 3. Am I selfish for refusing widowed MIL to move in? I'm 31F, and I've been married to my husband, 30M, for just a month and a half. What should have been a beautiful beginning has been deeply complicated by grief. Just 3 weeks after our wedding, his father passed away unexpectedly. The loss has been heavy. I've been doing my best to support my husband through it, while also managing my own ongoing health issues. I'm currently on medical leave and emotionally stretched thin. I traveled halfway across the world to be with him, and right now, I'm staying at his mother's home. We're South Asian, and as the only son, my husband carries a lot of cultural responsibility to care for his mother, especially now. I understand and respect that. In our culture, this duty is seen as a form of love and devotion. I don't want to stand in the way of that. That said, his mother will eventually move to Canada, where she'll primarily live with his sister. His sister has a larger home, a child, and the space to accommodate her. She's not without support or at risk of being alone. Still, the idea came up that she might also stay with us at times. This led to a conversation about giving up our current apartment and moving into a larger place, one that would cost us over $1,000 more in rent, just to make that possible. I had to be honest, I'm not ready for that. Not because I don't care, but because I'm still getting to know my mother-in-law and don't feel completely comfortable around her yet. My husband and I haven't even had time to settle into married life. I'm still emotionally processing the whirlwind of our wedding, his father's death, and my health challenges. And importantly, before marriage, I had communicated openly that while I was okay living close by to support his parents, I wasn't comfortable living with them full-time. I come from a more independent upbringing, where those expectations just aren't the same. To make things harder, the day after our wedding, my MIL told me I needed to lose a decent amount of weight so I could look prim and proper, and so she could get new clothes tailored for me. That comment sent me into a deep spiral. It brought up old wounds and body image struggles I thought I had long moved past. It took weeks to emotionally recover. To be fair, my husband and his sister stood up for me, and my MIL eventually apologized. But the damage was done. I no longer felt entirely safe or secure around her. That matters. So when I told my husband that I wasn't ready to move or have his mother stay with us right now, he told me he felt depressed and said he didn't have a supportive wife. He asked, "What if in 2 years you still say no?" and implied I was being closed off. I tried, gently, to explain my side. But he cut me off, told me I was going on a spiel, and eventually just shut down, saying, "I'm just trying to sleep." It left me feeling completely gaslit. I've never said never. I've simply said not yet. I need time. Time to find my footing, to settle into our new life, and to feel like our home is truly ours before I can share it in that way. Right now, it feels like I'm being asked to step into a family dynamic that's existed long before I was part of it, and to do so without boundaries, without a transition, and without room for my own needs. This isn't about refusing to care. It's about asking for time, space, and mutual respect. And I don't think that's too much to ask in a new marriage. Comment 1. I think you are in over your head. I come from a liberal/independent South Asian family too. If I married someone more conservative, I'd have massive issues because I simply can't live like that. I'm going to use my mother as an example. She was born into a modern family. My dad's family was conservative. My grandparents were awful to her. They made her move in and cook and clean. She had to get up at 6 a.m. to cook for a massive family, and they wouldn't let her eat with them. She ate alone in her room. They told her they'd find my dad another wife, and she'd never see her kids again. Just horrendous stuff, and guess what happened? She was the one who ended up looking after them when they were old. These people were cruel to her for 30+ years, yet she's going over with meals, helping my grandmother shower. My dad didn't lift a finger. Think long and hard about what you want for your future, and if you want to leave, get out before there are kids in the picture. Whatever they do now, it'll be 10 times worse with kids involved. Comment 2. I just read your previous posts. I'm so sorry you're dealing with this. One thing I noticed, when you two first moved in together, he was against the concept of marriage. Then, when his mother insisted you get married, he all of a sudden wanted marriage, and it happened in a matter of months. I know you feel like he had a change of heart, but given his behavior about mommy moving in, it seems clear that he will comply with his mother's wishes in all large life decisions. He will always choose his mother over you. Always. She has treated you horribly, but now you're not being supportive, be not wanting your tormentor to live with you, and pay an extra $1,000 per month for the privilege? Please try to step back and look at this objectively. You have signed up for a life of misery with this mama's boy. Time for 2 cards, marriage counselor or divorce lawyer. His choice. Comment 3. I'm in Canada. Married into a South Asian family, and my husband is also an only son. It's okay to say a solid no to this. Not now, not ever. I have said exactly that, but my husband totally agrees in our case. We need our space on a permanent basis. That being said, his parents live close by, and we help support that. The reality is, Emile will take over your home and your life. And it's totally okay to say that that is not how you want to live. Even if she wasn't rude to you, it's okay to say you want your own home. If your husband expected otherwise, he should have made that clear before you married. He's doing a bait and switch and is gaslighting, which isn't okay. Comment 4. A month and a half, and he's already dismissing your opinions? I would refuse to move to a larger place until he accepts that you won't live under the same roof as her, or move out entirely and file for an annulment. It's not selfish to want to run your own home without a bully in it. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.